Welcome back to Andersen Acres. Today we're diving into one of the most eye-catching rabbits in the entire domestic world, the checkered giant. If you've ever seen one, you know exactly why it stops people in their tracks. This isn't your average bunny. The checkered giant is long, lean, athletic, and marked like living art. But beyond that striking black and white pattern lies a breed with a fascinating history and a personality that's every bit as bold as its appearance. Let's start with where this giant began. The checkered giant story goes back to the late 1800s in France, where breeders were experimenting with crosses between Flemish giants and large spotted rabbits. The goal wasn't just to create a big rabbit. It was to create a big rabbit that looked like nothing else on Earth. The results? They were impressive, but still rough around the edges. Over time, German breeders refined the type, emphasizing a cleaner, more distinct pattern and a more athletic frame. By the early 1900s, the modern checkered giant had taken shape, a rabbit with the size of a giant and the grace of a hare. It made its way to the United States and was officially recognized in 1919. Now let's talk about that unmistakable look. A true checkered giant doesn't just have spots, it has a pattern. The base coat is pure white, and the markings are sharply defined in either black or blue. There's the butterfly marking across the nose, the solid eye circles, the cheek spots, a line down the spine called the herringbone, and perfectly placed side spots along the body. To show breeders, this pattern is both a dream and a headache. It's what makes the checkered giant so beautiful, but also so difficult to breed to standard. Just a little deviation, missing spots or a lopsided butterfly, and you're looking at disqualification in the show ring. As for size, they truly earned the word giant. A mature checkered giant weighs between 11 and 13 pounds, but what's most distinctive is their build. Unlike other heavy breeds that tend to be thick and blocky, these rabbits are long and athletic, so they're larger than their weight would suggest. Their body shape is often compared to a running hare, sleek, muscular, and built for motion. When they stretch out, they can easily measure 2.5 feet long from nose to tail. That physique hints at their personality. The checkered giant is a high-energy breed. They love to move, love to explore, love to investigate anything new in their environment. You can't really think of them as lap rabbits. They're more like the marathon runners of the rabbit world. They need space to stretch those long legs and a bit of mental stimulation to keep from getting bored. Owners often describe them as confident and curious, and sometimes a little bit bossy. They'll let you know when something isn't to their liking, and they're not afraid to throw their weight around. Literally. That energy level means they're not always the best fit for beginners or for people with small setups. Checkered giants do best when they have room to roam, whether that's a really large hutch with an exercise pen or a secure free-range area. They're strong jumpers and fast runners, and they'll use every inch you give them. Because of their size and activity, they also have a higher feed intake than smaller breeds, and they appreciate firm, dry footing rather than soft bedding, which can cause sore hocks in such large, muscular animals. And because they're so large and their feet are pretty big, it is not recommended to keep them on wire. They're better on the ground. Okay, they are better on the ground. So keep that in mind. Historically, checkered giants were bred for both meat and show, but their long, lean frame never quite matched the meatier proportions of commercial breeds like the New Zealand or the Californian or even the Rex. What they did become, however, was one of the most spectacular show rabbits in the world. That crisp contrast of black or blue on white, combined with the natural poise and movement they exhibit, makes them a real favorite in exhibition halls. When a checkered giant poses just right, with ears up and body stretched, it's hard not to admire the balance of power and beauty. They've also earned a reputation for their distinct personalities. Some owners say checkered giants have a bit of a diva streak. Not mean, just opinionated. They know they're impressive and they carry themselves like it. But when socialized well, they can be affectionate, engaging, and even playful in their own way. Many become devoted to their caretakers and enjoy the routine of being handled as long as you respect their space and strength. In short, The Checkered Giant is a breed for people who appreciate presence. They're dramatic, demanding, and unforgettable. Their history is rooted in careful breeding and artistry, and their personality reflects that same flair. Big, bold, beautifully balanced. That's about it for us here today at Andersen Acres. Drop a comment below if you've ever raised a Checkered Giant, or if you've just fallen in love with the striking looks and want to share your favorite part about them. We'll see you tomorrow.